Most people think the world needs saving right now. I think it needs something else. Welcome to Star Potential, the podcast for curious, soul led humans who know there's more available and want to explore it with depth, joy, and a little play. Here, we talk about reclaiming your authentic voice, shedding old identities, and expanding into who you're becoming without taking yourself too seriously. I'm your host, Julie Jo Hughes. Let's get curious, let it be fun, and see what ignites. Welcome back to Star Potential. I'm your host, Julie Jo. I want to start this season by naming something I've been noticing everywhere lately. So many good-hearted, well-intentioned people feel overwhelmed by the state of the world, by politics, by conflict, by injustice, uncertainty, and I understand that. I've felt it too. But here's the truth that I've come to. When we live inside of fear, anger, hopelessness, worry, we don't heal the world. We simply add more of that frequency, those heavy, dense frequencies, to the collective field. This season is an invitation to something different, not to ignore reality and not to spiritually bypass it, but to remember that we are energetic beings first, that our consciousness is creative, that our presence is impactful. Our frequency is not an accident. It is a choice, a practice. It is a responsibility for each of us. Each day, we set the tone of our own world. And when we get triggered, pulled, or overwhelmed, which we undoubtedly will from time to time, we learn how to come home again, not as victims of what's happening out there, but as empowered, awake participants in what comes next. The new earth isn't something we wait for, sit and hope and wonder how it's all going to happen. And it's not something that we take by storm and fix. It's something we embody moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by choice. So if you've already been feeling the shift, if you know there must be another way to be here, you are in the right place. Let's begin. I'm so glad you're here for the first episode of season 2. This season is experiential, not just ideas, but practices you can live in real time, in your mornings, in your relationships, in the moments when the world feels loud, and we'll walk it together. You don't need me to tell you the world feels loud right now. Many kind, good-hearted people are caught in loops of fear and overwhelm. This season is about stepping onto another timeline together, learning how to create the peace we want to see in the world. I know that there is a path to internal peace that doesn't rely on what's happening externally. I want to share how I learned how to step out of that loop of gloom and doom. One of the main lessons that I learned, as far as practically speaking in my everyday life, is as a mother, if I let myself be woken up by the children and I immediately start reacting to the day, first of all, I wake up already feeling behind. Maybe I'm a little bit perturbed or have an attitude because I already feel out of control of the day. And this is not about controlling everything. Don't get me wrong here. But it is about understanding that you are an energetic being first. Yes, you are a physical being. Yes, you interact with others in the world. But you know when you walk into a room and you can kind of read the vibe of the room before anyone's even said anything? That's because you're tuning to the energy of the room. You can feel when there's a mismatch. You can feel when it's a heavy energy in a room. You can feel when it's a light energy in the room. We are energetic beings, and we can learn to attune ourselves more closely. I know that if I am hit with an onslaught of kids who are tired and don't feel like going to school that day and are a little bit upset about something or worried about something that might happen that day, I have so much more patience and compassion when I tune my own vessel first before letting the day dictate how it's going to go for me. So, first point for you is that you are an energetic being. You're not just a thinker, you're not just a reactor. You are an emitter of energy. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can learn to tune that frequency. My second point for you today is that collective emotion is contagious. Outrage and despair spread a lot faster than peace. They're the heavy, thick, dense, lower frequencies. These are the one, think of it like this. A man's voice is much deeper and thicker than a woman's voice, is a higher, faster frequency, right? And if you are in a quiet space and everyone's whispering and you hear a woman speak at a soft volume, you may hear it kind of at a soft volume. But when a man speaks, even if they're whispering, you're going to hear it more because you feel the vibrations. They're heavier, thicker vibrations, and you feel them, right? So emotions are kind of like that too. Our lower, denser frequency emotions they're louder, so to speak, than the higher frequencies. My third point for you is that regulation is leadership. Coming home to your own peaceful, which is your natural frequency, is not selfish, it's service. When you learn little tools and tips for bringing yourself back to home, back to peace, you're immediately emitting a different frequency. It spreads to the people around you, it spreads to your home, it spreads to your community, your relationships, your entire environment, and then can create a ripple effect out. So many people are concerned with fixing the world, but you will never fix a broken world by focusing on the world. You always have to turn it back in. Always. When you go inward and bring that frequency back to peace, that is the beginning of rebuilding and changing and emitting the frequency that then ripples out to the rest of the world. Now, let's make this practical and playful, because that's what we're all about here at Star Potential is play. And I really want to give you practical tips this season on teaching you how we walk this different path of inner peace, which then ripples out. This is how we reshape the world, not the other way around. So here's a tiny frequency experiment for you. Right now, I want you to roll your shoulders back. Take one slow breath and let it out. You can do that one more time if you need to. And notice how your state of being shifts. Do you feel an immediate, subtle difference? How would you describe that? For me, it's a little more open, a little softer, feels a little more stable. This is how we find peace amidst what others label to be chaos. And let's be honest, if our aim is to save the world, we're going to need some fun play along the way, probably some snacks. For me, Being a parent is an everyday practice in realizing how me setting my own tone first affects my whole world for the entire day. So I recognized that my real responsibility was not in being the number one parent or being the best participant in any role that I play. My real responsibility was to my inner state. And when I start there, everything else just falls into place a little more easily. You have the patience and compassion that you're wishing you had instead of constantly reacting to the life that is happening around you. Instead, this season, we're going to walk through practical examples of how we rewrite the story before it's even happened. We visualize, we bring into existence the world which we dream of. So let me ask you today, where have you been letting the world set your inner tone, your radio station, your frequency for the day? Hmm. And what would it feel like to choose your frequency first each day? Can you imagine? As you go through this week, I want you to simply notice the times when you feel triggered or anxious about something. And instead of reacting immediately, I want you to pause. You can leave your eyes open. This can be right in the middle of reacting to a work email, to responding to a coworker, to talking to your spouse, to dealing with your kids' backtalk. And instead of responding immediately, I want you to pause for just a moment, take a breath or two, reset, and see if you approach things a little bit differently just by that small little shift. I am so excited for all of the tools and stories and practical things that we're going to walk through in season 2 of Star Potential. I'm so happy that you're here on this journey with me, and I'm really excited to have you with me as we learn to walk a different path. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to set your tone in the morning before the world gets to you. A morning routine, huh? Don't be too afraid. This season, we're walking this together. Healing the world starts with healing ourselves, not through self judgment and not through constant fixing, but through remembering who we are, by reclaiming our authentic voices, by letting growth feel curious instead of catastrophic, playful instead of punishing, light instead of heavy. Star potential is for the one who gets antsy at too much seriousness, the one who knows that there must be another way to evolve that doesn't require constantly drowning. We love to have fun. We love to play and keep it lighthearted. We also understand the depth of what's happening in our own lives, in the lives of those around us. And when we learn to expand the capacity for what we can experience, then we're able to show up with more compassion, love, and patience, first for ourselves, and then for those closest to us, and then for those a little further from us, and so on, and so on, and so on. This, my friends, is how we change the world. So, for something a little lighter, let's talk about some of the stuff we're going to explore this season. We're going to talk about what I'm even referring to when I say reclaiming your authentic voice. We're going to talk about shedding identities and what that even means. We're going to talk about conscious play. What could that mean? We're going to do some real life experiments in expanding, and I'll give you gentle, grounded tools to support you during your soul shifts, not as perfection, but as practice. Because that's what play is. Play is practicing, putting ourselves in roles, trying things on. You don't need to have it all figured out to be here. Just a willingness to stay curious, to follow the spark, to let your soul's evolution feel a little more like wonder. And if you're wondering where you are in your own shift, I've created a free soul shift quiz. I'll tell you a little bit more at the end. I'm really excited to share that with you. So, as we step into season 2, it's not about escaping the world, it's about becoming the version of you who can meet it differently, lighter, with more clarity, more you. That's what the world needs. Until next time, Starlight, keep shining, keep exploring, and I'll see you next week. If something in this episode lit you up or sparked a little curiosity, you might be in the middle of a soul shift of your own. I created a free quiz called Are You in a Soul Shift? To help you explore where you are and what's opening next. Just go to juliejohughes.com/quiz or find the link in the show notes. And if you're enjoying the show, would you please leave a quick rating or review? It helps create a ripple to reach other curious souls. Until next time, stay curious and let yourself play.